Peace, 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 and blessings, family. Welcome to
Peace.
Sunday Sitting with Sisters. How y'all doing this
Yes,
morning? How you doing, Dana?
I'm doing good. I cannot complain. I'm a little bit tired, a little bit hoarse, but I'm also feeling hopeful. This morning, every morning I wake up, the sky is appearing clearer and clearer. So that's good. My family's healthy, and I'm good. I'm just so excited and wanting to hear from our guest, Amanda Free. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing wonderful as always. Working as I'm always
Okay.
doing, but just grateful.
I
Got a
lo-
chance to get into my garden yesterday and do some other things, so I feel really, really focused and just very grounded. So I'm grateful for that. Today we have our dear sister joining us today
yes.
as we talk about women in business and look at some of the businesses that people are doing. And this is Sister
Mhm.
Ananda Free. How you doing, sis? Thank you for joining us.
Peace. I'm good. I'm feeling really good today. Feeling really good. Thank you all so
How's
much for having me.
No worries. How's
Oh,
your children and your family?
Everybody's doing well. I'm sending a lot of energy to my husband downstairs, corralling the troops, making sure they don't come. Because the youngest one, she'll come up here and be like, "Ha!" I'll be like, "Relax." So, and she's like, she's a new three. So,
Oh,
the world is hers. Yes.
wow. That's
yes.
beautiful, though.
Yes.
That's absolutely beautiful. I love her energy. So a few times I've heard her, sound like a ball of fire, but I love it though.
She is.
You
She
know what I mean? I
is.
love that energy. You wish you could bottle that up and drink it when you feel like take some of this and whoo, I'm back. So
Yes.
very, very grateful for that. Today, as we do our topic, looking at Black women in business, before we get to that, I wanted to take a little bit of time and see if there's any hot topics or anything that we need to discuss, Dana, or
Okay.
anything in particular. And to be
Okay.
honest with you, I just been kind of working. Not saying like that, but I haven't really plugged into the news. I'm still doing the thing around Black femicide and missing Black girls and working with this
Mm.
other sister who tracks all of these cases across the country with Black women and girls. So it's just nice to be a part of someone's team who they about their life. So I'm
Mhm.
just grateful to do whatever it is that she asked me to do.
Mhm.
It's my pleasure.
Absolutely.
But I don't know if
Absolutely.
anything in the news. I know this was some weeks off. They talked about Cardi B and I guess Candace Owens and Black women in politics, and I'm not a fan of either one of them. So I think I really didn't pay it no mind. To be very honest with you, I just
Yeah.
people were asking me, and I was like, I don't really care.
Yeah.
You know
Everything
what I mean?
isn't
So,
for everybody. Yeah.
huh?
Everything isn't for everybody, and that's okay. too.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have tuned in or tapped into that either, bro. Yeah, no, I was going to say that I really want to commend you on the work that you're doing with your Nurturing Girls program. I love it. As someone who is starting to work with young girls myself, I really love what you're doing and getting to the heart of the matter and the issues that really plague our community and with regards to our young girls. Miss Free, I don't know if you had the opportunity to see the two PSAs. I think it's 2 of 5, maybe, because I know we saw the first one.
Yeah.
2 of 6, but there were 2 released this week, and one of them had chills down my back. But I really love what you're doing, Ro, with that. You want to speak a little bit about that?
Well, during the summer, we did I've been doing a Nurturing Girls internship for like 5 years, but this is the first time I did it in the summer. And so I had like 18 girls, and they did a lot of things: self-discovery, business. They did all kind of stuff. I had awesome facilitators from around the country joining with them through Zoom and some in person. So we have awesome women everywhere. But they also had the assignment to come up with PSAs around 6 issues that are happening to Black girls and women in our community that get overlooked. It was really incredible. The interesting thing about how we came up with those topics is that a lot of our girls are trained, just like we are trained, to be concerned with everyone else except for yourself. So when they started researching and seeing how high Black femicide is the killing of women intentionally across this country for Black women, it is off the chain. I think they're almost past, or a little bit over 600, if not more than that, because I have to catch up for my September numbers. But also all these Black girls and women who have gone missing, and the way we dismiss things, because it really says something about the value that we have on Black girls and women, the value of or lack of value. We talked about the homeless situation. That's another PSA that's going to come out, because in Sacramento, more than 50% of the homeless population, which is growing quickly, are Black women, single Black women with children. So that totally impacts us. They talked about job discrimination, Black women being so overly qualified, degree down the whole 9, and still face a lot of discrimination in the workplace. They talked about Black girls being pushed out of school and being disciplined higher than any other rate in the school. So we would never think about that because we have this, but so does everybody else. But for some reason, when it comes to us, it's magnified. The girls really enjoyed like expressing themselves on that. I can't remember the last topic, forgive me, because it was 6 of them all together. But they did PSAs and they were incredible. So each week I'm going to be releasing a PSA. And then at the beginning of October, I start my new session. But this time I'll be working with like 50 Black girls throughout Sacramento. That's a lot. But I also brought on a team of people to work with me on that. Some of them are across the country, and then some of them right here in Sacramento, because our Black girls are in desperate need of attention. Let's just be honest. And I don't know if that's because sometimes we see ourselves as Black women and sacrifice ourselves, that we really do teach that to our girls. And I think if they have better tools, then they can make better decisions or be better people or have more self-worth, and to not exactly worry about how people see you. It only matters how you see yourself. And so I'm just really, I'm just grateful that I'm able to work with them, because I'm older. I've been doing this work for like over 30 something years. So I'm just grateful to see another person that I've trained who have gone through my programs now coming back in as a lead facilitator. And I'm just excited about that, because that's the way it's supposed to be. Honestly, I really should not be 50 years old still doing this. I mean, I could do it as a guide, but we got to train other people to take it over so that we can go clear the path in some other ways. So as those people age out, they would have other steps to follow. Because sometimes we don't have a lot of those steps because people don't make it past their 40s or sometimes their 50s. And then, usually you be too tired to do anything else. You're just trying to breathe. So I'm grateful. I'm really, really grateful. Peace, Verna. That's my girl from Ohio.
I know. Yeah.
Oh, Buffalo. Okay. Yeah. How you doing? Peace, Khadiji.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that's that's what's been going on with me. Just focusing more on my business. Cleaned out my office. Lord, pray for me. I never threw away so much paper in my life. I was struggling with the paper. Like, I may need this again. I ain't used this in 15 years, but I may need this. Like, Londa, just let that paper. I almost had to call in reinforcements because somebody was trying to do it for me and I was in my feelings. Like, let me just start. So I think they'll be pretty proud of me that I was able to throw out a lot of stuff. I don't know, y'all ever had that problem where you
Yeah.
rid of stuff and you be struggling with yourself?
Yes. My thing is paper, but not my thing is more so clothes. It's like, Dana, you haven't wore that in years. Throw that, give that away or whatever. So yeah, I know, I get it. I don't know how you get emotionally attached to something you don't even use. I don't know what that's about. I need to figure that out.
People give me a lot of stuff. So that's part of the attachment. Or I have, writings from people and I don't want to throw them away. Like, I'm like, this, because sometimes I get things when I really need them. Like, sometimes I'll be like, I don't know if I even want to do this no more. And then I'll get a card from a young lady. Hi, Mama Ro. I'll be like, girl, lace these damn boots up, go on in here and get cracking. You know what I mean? So, I have those kind of things. And I was like, but then it just be paper. Some stuff is just paper. And it's like, well, I'll just go on and get the shredder out. Like, I have to do that for myself because, it has people's stuff on it. So I'm feeling really grateful. And then I'm also working a lot of things for my family ancestry. And that's been incredible. Like, I'm so grateful for my ancestors, and not in like the generic way. Like, I found my great grandmother's burial site that I got her new marker, and she was born in 1818 into slavery, and she was 102 when she died in 1920. Like, her daughter, her granddaughter, like, I'm just grateful. Like, because I know I come from some slamming ass women and some strong women and but it's like to be able to visit them and take them flowers and talk to them and tell them how grateful I am that I am in their line. That means a lot to me. So I've been doing that. I've been doing a lot of family tree stuff, girl. All kind of stuff been falling out the closet. But hey, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I like Khadijah's comment.
Hell, I want to do. Not to say it like that, but because some of them live, because I know their stories and stuff now, and talk to my dad's mom who's like 95, whatever. Like, they made choices. Sometimes when I'm doing this, I have to remember that I'm in this time and not in 1950. Because I'll be looking at stuff from the lens of, girl, you could have just left that fool, but they didn't have help like that. Or you didn't tell your husband, no, I don't want to do this. Or nobody was really helping you. I learned some stuff where it was like, now that makes sense. But I couldn't really, when you look at that stuff from this lens, you're looking at it with all of what we have right now.
Right.
We have a gang of resources where we live at.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we have more nonprofits than next under DC.
Wow.
So that's how many we have in Sacramento.
Wow.
Oh,
so
wow.
It's not like 1964 or 1951 or 1970, where if your husband abused you, you went back. Like, they encouraged you to go work it out. So that kind of stuff. I'm just, I'm just very grateful. Yeah. Oh,
that's
hey,
good. I like Khadijah's comment. She said, some of my outfits remind me of particular moments I don't ever want to forget. So I have stuff from my teen years. Khadijah, y'all would crack up if y'all see some of the stuff that I have. And so, yeah, you just made me feel a little bit better, Khadijah.
Ananda, do you still have things that you hold on to? She said,
no.
Right. You incredible.
You know what happened for me? And honestly, I don't know if y'all know much about astrology, but like, I'm a Cancerian, and I'm actually a double Cancerian. I have another planet in Cancer. So Cancerians are known to keep things, right? But I've just moved so many times and have had to up and move quickly that I've had to release things, let go of things that it was heart-wrenching, right? But they're still in my heart, and it also helps me to not be attached, honestly, because the only thing that we come here with is ourselves, like our spirit, you know what I'm saying, our ancestral lineage. But outside of that, everything is temporal anyway. And so in the moments that people give me things, I'm able to be present with it in that moment. And when it's no longer of any use to me, if no one else finds any value or use with it, not saying it's not value, not saying it's valueless, but it served
Right.
its purpose. And so I can bless it and let it go.
Right on. But you said something that was key. I find that people who move around a lot, they don't have as many things because they have to leave, one. But people who I know who keep a lot of history and stuff are very rooted people in their space. Like, for instance, if I was digging in my family history because my great grandmother came to Philadelphia and uprooted, the house that she came to is still in our family 100 years later. So I was able to find everybody just by a street address. Like, oh my God, that sounds, oh my God. So, but I think sometimes everything could be a beauty, and sometimes things could be like, I wish I would have, you know what I mean? Because it's nothing like looking at 100 years later and people trying to find you.
I know that's right. I know that's right. It's a beautiful thing. Like, so legacy is a really beautiful thing. And so like your ancestors having that home that had everything, that had the things in it. So it wasn't like you had to go here and there, right? And so I feel like our people will leave us the things that we get to have in order to fulfill our destiny here on this earth. And so for me, it's been a lot of, like I said, I'm a Cancerian, so home is everything to me. Home is everything. And what I have learned along the way is as I've had an opportunity to return home to myself, there's no place that you're going to put me on this earth where I'm not at home. Because I'm connected to myself and my ancestors.
Right on, sis.
Okay. I know that's right.
That makes sense. I think that's the beauty of, and Sister Khadijah said she want to be like you when she grow up.
Me too.
And she said, I had my mother's church shawl from the 1970s on my wall as an earring holder. You sure do.
I seen that.
Right on, sis. Right on. I still have her doll, from back in the day. My mother collect dolls and stuff like that. So I totally get it. I think for me, the balance is to wherever people are, that it's okay. Because I'm not gonna lie, I have to touch their things. That's how it works for me.
Absolutely.
So and the Lord knows I'm a mover, but I move with certain things. When I travel with certain things, and a lot of it is things that are from my ancestry that I just take with me. And then some people don't need nothing but they dang self. They're like, I'm here, bam, we here, bam. So to me, I think you need all of that. You need all of that.
Well, I know when I move, like I don't. When I move. Oh no, my bad. When I move, like when I go certain places or when I travel, for those of the folks who are familiar with ATR, my shrines come with me because the Risha that I'm initiated to, they come with me. I don't. There's certain things that I do not move without. You understand what I'm saying? But there's certain things that I'm like, if I was to take everything with me, I'd have a U-Haul. So.
Right
on. So while we're talking to you, let's just get into what you do as a business.
Okay. Do you want me to read? You want me to read the bio first?
Yes, please read her bio, Dana. Thank you.
Okay, because Rose so graciously prepared. Let me go ahead and hold on 1 second, y'all. I'm so sorry. I'm kind of slow today. Okay. Ananda Free is a visionary artist whose sole purpose is to share and impart love to humanity through her varied artistic modalities. Ananda uses multimedia, sculpture, and writing as portals to share her own growth and awareness in this life and invite others to join in a conversation on the deep goodness that still resides in our human spirit. That's good. Along with how our most authentic and nourishing self still lives in the innocence and bliss of our inner child. As a mother of biological children, mentees, and folks who needed some nurturing throughout Ananda's life, she has been drawn to assist others in removing any gunky film. Now that's okay, girl, you have me at that. From their eyes and encouraging them to be their most authentic, radiant selves. Ananda is the chief visionary artist of Sweet Weirdness. that she lovingly runs with her husband, Zakai Free. Ananda's most current project is the release of Yay Yay Sweet Waters and the Mean Mermaids. Oh, wow. Sis, you all of that. Please tell us about more about this.
So, Sweet Weirdness came to me 10 years ago. I used to spray paint my clothes because I didn't find things that really represented me when I went into boutiques or stores. And I'm an artist. I've been painting since I was like 24, 25. And so I started spray painting clothes and painting on clothes. And I wanted to vend at this event called Crafty Bastards in DC. And so in order to do that, you had to have a business. You couldn't just like have your name and that's it. So on my birthday of 2000, it was in 2010. Yeah, it was 11 years now. My birthday in 2010, I'm trying to fill out this thing and it came to me. I was like, what is the name of the company? God help me. And I heard Sweet Weirdness. Okay. And originally it was spelled Weirdness, right? So like different, strange.
Yeah.
And so we actually launched in 2011 a t-shirt line. Mm-hmm. And it started as a t-shirt line. And then I got pregnant with our oldest. And so I kind of went on hiatus from the clothing and things like this. So then we relaunched Sweet Weirdness it was in May of 2019 as a home decor company. So it premieres all my art. Like, so this piece you see behind me, that's my art.
Okay.
It has different tapestries and wall hangings and floor pillows and throw pillows that are from my work.
Okay.
Sweet Weirdness is a lifestyle brand, and it's where goodness, love, and joy is the status quo, right? Because there's so many things in our society that serve as a status quo that really take us to the left or take us in a whole other direction. And so as it's been put in my spirit, it's like, no, goodness, joy, and love get to be that, right? Mm-hmm. And with exhibit it however it comes to us. Like, look at thank you.
Okay.
So and it's dedicated to the sweet. It's dedicated to the sweet weirdo. That. Thank you.
Oh, I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So a sweet weirdo. So Sweet Weirdness is dedicated to a sweet weirdo, right? And a sweet weirdo, and this is how we got to the WYRDO. One night I was asleep. I think I might have been pregnant with our third child, but he looked up weird and he got to the original definition of it.
What is it?
It's destiny, fate. That's the original. That's the original meaning, and it was spelled WYRD, and it's Celtic. So the sweet weirdo is a person that unapologetically living from their heart's most fun, loving, radiant, unique expression. So that's who it's dedicated to, and those who are doing their best to attain that too, because in our society, a lot of times, as you were speaking earlier, Mama Ro, about our young girls learning how to be themselves, period. And it's far too often we're shown how we get to be in order to be accepted into society, but we're already born with who we came here to be. And so when we give ourselves permission to live from that space, then it's contagious. Just like bad moods and attitudes are contagious, so are the opposite.
Okay.
So are people understanding that they have their own radiant, unique expression and destiny. And so when one is living from that, like we are all custom, we come from not even custom cloth, we are custom made. No two people's needs, people's lives are supposed to be the same. There are ways in which that we can identify because we go through life on this earth together. There's certain things that people have experienced that they can relate to, right? That's what makes people's experiences relatable. But those relatable experiences remind us that we are not alone and how we get to move in Congress and interdependence, even in our own uniqueness. But our uniqueness is key. So Sweet Weirdness is the brand where that's where people contact me to speak. That's also where I sell my books from. For right now, we're about to shift that. So yeah, that's me.
So how did you come up with Yay Sweet Waters and the Mean Mermaids? Like, how did you come up with that concept?
So it was like a little over a year ago. I was in my kitchen washing dishes, and I just heard Yay. That's what I heard, but I didn't know what it was. I was actually thinking about, truthfully, I was thinking about a goddess line because I'm totally into the divine feminine, the divine mother, that energy. And I was thinking of, that would be interesting to have goddess dolls. Huh. And so then I heard Yay Sweetwaters, right? And so I was like, I wonder what that is. And my little brother for years, my biological little brother, every time he calls me, he'd be like, "What's up, Sweetwaters? What's up, Sweetwaters?" Because I'm initiated to Ashun. And for those that know about the ATR, I'm initiated to that deity, to that goddess. So when I heard Yay Sweetwaters, I said, "Okay, God, what else is it?" Because I know that's not it. That's just not it. And within a few days later, I got the concept for the book, and within a week, I wrote it. It just came down in a download.
I know that's right. I definitely want to be like you.
Oh, don't do that.
Grow up. I'm like Khadijah now.
So
okay.
No, go ahead.
I got a question after you, Ro.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So I know you. So I'm paraphrasing. So you correct me if I'm wrong, Adana. But what you were saying before, we are already born with who we are.
Yeah.
Is that a fair statement? So I wanted to ask you, how do you feel about the process of becoming? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's an unfolding. I think that, I'm sorry, what'd you say?
No, I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. Girl, did you hear my mind? Because in my mind, I was thinking now, wait a minute now, bro, who is this woman? No, but in my mind, I was thinking, as you were just talking right now, do you feel like, yes, we're already born with who we are destined to be, but do you feel like some folks can be on a certain trajectory and through the power of becoming and what they will, they could become something else? Like, how do you feel about that? But you heard me in my mind.
So I think it's a little complicated.
Okay.
How I feel about it. I can answer the question, but it's not like super direct. I'll do my best. So
you on Sunday sitting with sisters, it's okay. We just talking.
When we're born, everything that we've come here to express is inside of us.
Okay.
I'm going to give you the analogy of a piece of coal, right? They talk about diamonds. And so coal, what makes the diamond is already the diamond, right? The outside imaging of it does not take away from the fact that it's a diamond. The pressure and the weight and the gravity of it, the circumstances have to be, it's like the perfect storm. It has to be just right in order for that diamond to emerge, right?
Okay.
And so I would say it's the same for those with our destinies. I say I was born with the destiny that I had, and there are certain circumstances that created pressure and tension and all the other things in order for things that no longer serve me to crack and drop away, right? In order for who I am to emerge. And right now, by the grace of the Almighty, what they doing is shining me up, putting some bevels on me, right? So I can absolutely, you know what I mean? Like sparkle. And so, but I believe that for everyone. It takes a lot of belief, and it takes a lot of courage to step outside of who we think ours to be, to step inside of who we absolutely are.
All right.
Those are two different things.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, that
So
rang true to my spirit when you said that.
So I think, give thanks. I think that, so for instance, I spoke on a panel a couple weeks ago and I talked about how I used to be a voracious liar, how I used to have horrible self-esteem. I had no self-esteem. You talking about low self-esteem? I wish I had low self-esteem. I ain't have no self-esteem. You know what I'm saying? I was somebody who had a lot of different spiritual accolades. Like Mama Roll, we were talking the other day, a spiritual gift does not make a person have arrived. A person can have horrible character and have a spiritual gift. A person can have horrible character and speak in tongues. A person can have horrible character and bring down messages from the heavens. You understand what I'm saying? When they talk about the scriptures, they say Noah was a drunk. Okay, so he was an addict. They say certain people in the scriptures had horrible, but it did not mean that the Most High cannot use that person. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That those things are pushed out of the way in order for God to come through, or for the divine Holy Mother to come through, however a person believes. You understand? So I think that for me, I had to get right with not just the fact that I had these gifts, but what was expected of me in these gifts. How was I to be in this world with these gifts? How was I to absolutely sit in the seat that I was given, the throne that I was given for myself and my destiny with these gifts? You know what I'm saying? So it's like going to eat something. It looks beautiful. It's beautifully made. It attracts you to it, but it has a little bit of a bitterness when you bite into it. But you wasn't expecting that bitterness. And I would say that's how I was before I started deeply embracing my spiritual path and just starting to let things go, let anger go, let resentment go, let distrust go, let just all the things go. Not to say that I've arrived, because I still got stuff I'm working through, but I'm definitely not
I do.
used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So with this book, what are the messages of this book? Like why did you write the book the way you did? The illustration I think is incredible. But what are some of the messages? Huh?
Did you get your copy?
You showed us I didn't get it yet, but I seen
you get yours though.
Okay. Oh, definitely. But I just, did some research what you shared with us the other day, last Tuesday. And I was like, wow, because I'm definitely going to get some for my nieces. Don't get it twisted. So, but the messaging is beautiful.
So the book is based around Yeye Sweetwaters and the Mean Mermaids. It takes place in ancient Yoruba land. Also, let me just also say, yes, I got the book in a down, and I will also say my daughters were great impetus to me writing the book, because I wanted them to see themselves in a beautiful way. And I wanted them also to see that, with all this conversation around mermaids and that all this other stuff, lore, that they have a space. It's not enough, please forgive me, it's not enough for Disney to have a character that is a Black mermaid that is still set inside of a European story. But I wanted to go a step further and I was guided to go a step further and say, hey, y'all. So these stories have been around for thousands of years. And not only that the mermaids are actually real in a lot of African traditional religions, right? And that inside of that, they have these beautiful mystical powers and all these other things, that they're not like waifs. They're not little by any stretch of the imagination. So that was part of that. The other part was community is so important to me. And it came to me as a story about Yeye, who is the leader. She's the chief in this city called the City of Sweetness, Ilu Aladun. And there's this one mermaid, her name is Omitola And goes to go play with her, her homies, her friends, her sister friends. And on this particular day, I don't know what was going on with these mermaids, but they decided to freeze her out. And they decided to side with kind of like the leader, Omitayo. Omitayo had an issue with the fact that Omitola has this beautiful, extravagant tail. You ever come across somebody be jealous of you just for you breathing, just for you existing? You don't even know. You're like, listen, I'm here. I'm trying to live.
Okay.
What is it that what's going on? So that's kind of like what happened with her and her friends. And Yeye comes across her sobbing in some seaweed and some algae. And she's like, girl, what's going on with you? Then first of all, she was talking to her friend Puff Puff. She's like, yo, some crime? That didn't happen here. This is a city of harmony and joy and goodness. What's happening? I haven't heard a sad mermaid song in a long time. So they get together. Yeye helps to, get her in touch with her, as Cat Williams would say, her star player. Get her in touch with that part of herself.
I know that's right.
And then they come across the Mean Mermaids, and that takes us into a whole nother conversation around healing, the elder holding the vessel for healing to occur without shaming the perpetrator, without ostracizing the perpetrator, but really just reflecting these characteristics to Omitayo and her having to go through her own inquiry, like, what made me do this to my sister? What brought this up for me? And the other ones have to go through their own. And there's some beautiful affirmations in this book. There's 2 affirmations in the book. And the book is really about community and how we get to hold space for one another in community. How community does not mean that everything is always going to be hunky-dory, because that's not what it means. Because everything isn't always hunky-dory in families. Everything isn't always hunky-dory in relationships. But we get to do our self-work in order to see how we show up and shift our own narrative, our own conversation, drop it so we can show up bigger and better and to be more of service for ourselves and for our partners in community. So that's basically what the book is about. I'd sometimes say it's like a self-help book with illustration. And I would have marketed that way, honestly, but from what I got from the spirits, they were like, no, this book is a present. It's a gift for our children to anchor in goodness, hope, love, themselves. And if hopefully their parents or their guardians or community leaders get something for it, because adults be having some major problems. A lot of times I say we just big kids with our game faces on.
Right on.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
When you were talking, dear sis, I know this is a children's book, but I think a lot of adults would like it too. I remember when I first seen Kirikou and the Sorceress. Have you ever seen that?
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm thinking, I'm gonna watch this first so my nephew and nieces can let me see if this is cool. I found more adults that really liked it because they can really relate to the Sorceress or Kirikou or whoever, and so I think even though this is a children's book, I find this with some children books or things that were targeted for young people. I think it's for adults and the child in them so they can have something to work from.
Absolutely. No, it is. We don't even age it, and I think that's what makes it different, because a lot of times people ask me to try to put it in a category. What are the ages? I say from ages 0 to 99. It's basically for all ages. And I think that's important.
So is this your first book?
No, it's my second book. So this is my first book. Let's see. And it's at howtomakalovecake.com. But this is my first book called How to Make a Love Cake. And it's like a fictionalized account of my own healing journey. And I did it in the space of writing about this baker. Her name is, what is her name? I can't think of it. Hold on. Honey. I had to go look. And I'll read it to y'all. It says the fictionalized account of Ananda Free's journey from trauma and abuse to self-awareness and love is a riveting read. The protagonist, Honey, is a successful baker, yet there's something blocking her from being totally fulfilled. Journey with Honey as she picks up the broken pieces of her past and with the help of elevated ancestors, Orisha, and deities, find the ingredients to her love cake. The ingredients are universal, as is this book, a true conversation starter and an opportunity to access tools to go to the next level. How to Make a Love Cake is a spiritual self-help with a dash of fantastic mysticism. So, yeah, this is my first book. And then,
so I have a question with that book.
Yes.
Can you give us a little piece of something you wrote in there? Like, you know how people
Oh,
read a book
sure. Absolutely.
of that book. I want to hear what you know. I'm sharing your website and everything too while we're talking. So
Thank you. All right. So I'll go to the part where, in the beginning of the story, Honey is waking up on this day that is really, 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 really awesome. And hold on one second. Let's see.
take time.
All right. So I'm going to start where Honey answers the phone and she thinks it's a client on the phone, but it's actually Love. Okay. All right. Who's speaking, please? I apologize. I didn't get your name. Oh, no worries, sugar. My name is Love. Oh, okay. I say, this has to be some artist, free spirit person. Love, what is your last name so I can put you on my calendar? Just Love, says the voice. So I know I'm annoyed, like this person is avoiding disclosing their identity. Please forgive me. Your name is Love, just Love, like Prince or the artist formerly known as? I don't quite understand. I assure you, my name is just Love. I do have some aliases that you have heard of. I'm certain that you're familiar with some of them, depending on which side of the world you're on. The love of God, Ashun, if you're in Nigeria, Brazil, the Caribbean, in India, and other parts of Asia, I'm known as Tara, Lakshmi, Parvati. In India, in Europe, Aphrodite, Venus. Some refer to me as Mother, Father, God's heartbeat, unconditional love, and on and on and on. So love is just much more simple. That's me. Okay, for real, who is this? I ask at this point, starting to feel slightly more annoyed, albeit a bit intrigued. Why would Love call me to give me a cake recipe? This has to be a joke. My friends has disguised their voice to get me to fall for this farce, clearly. So I decide to be somewhat agreeable. Well, you know what? Sure. What is the cake recipe, Love? Is it called Super Duper Pooper Cake? Or how about the Flat Bim Bam Bat Flip Cake? Or is it just called, sorry to cut you off, Oyinade, skepticism and sarcasm are not a good fit or look on you. It drags down your radiant vibration, makes it a bit gray brown, slows down your metabolism, and causes constipation in your body because you're being guarded, which I thoroughly understand. You've been caught off guard by a phone call which you're trying to process, none of which makes any logical sense to you. Yes, I understand, Honey Pie. I know this comes as a bit of a surprise.
Wow, I was all in it.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it. Two questions from the audience. Let me take this share away. I love when I pick the share up because you were reading from that How to Make a Cake, How to Make a Love Cake. Dear sister is saying she went to your website and she see pillows and other decorative items, but don't see where she could order the children's book.
It's under books in the menu with the drop down menu. It says like home decor. Then it says books. You
Okay.
go to books. That's where the children's book is. Yeah.
All right, let me, you know what I'll do for this person real quick. Hold on.
Thank you.
That's what I love about technology, man. I'm telling you. Okay, so I pulled up your site here, and I'm going to demonstrate. So when you go to the site up here, you see these things up here. You click on the one that says books, which I'm going to do right now, and ta-da! There's the book and how you can order it. Right?
Thank you for asking, Aja.
Okay. And then another sister, let me say stop sharing here. She's saying, is your book on Amazon?
No, I'm not giving Amazon none of my money.
Okay. They're not getting no money. Just go to the website.
Yeah.
I know that's right, girl.
He gets no money. Just go to the website. And then the sister said, okay, thank you. That's awesome.
No, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's definitely a wow. And the same thing with the cake too. The cake book is on a different. That's why I gave y'all a second website.
Let me show the sister some of the illustrations. Can I?
Yes, please.
The book's upside down. Hold on. Now I will say, because I've gotten some great feedback about the book, and this is kind of like a grassroots project. That's why we're trying to sell. We're selling all of our books in order to do a second edition. So this is the first page, and this one sister I spoke to the other day, she was saying the wording was a little too small for her taste, the lettering. And here's the second page. And here's Yaya Sweetwater's eating her favorite seaweed honey rolls. And Puff Puff, that's her fairy friend in the back. And that's her boat called Wonderful.
Beautiful.
Oh, let me show you. Oh, that's Omitola crying in the seaweed. These are the mermaids. And as you see, hold on, let me go over here. You see they're all different shapes and sizes. Some have locks. One has fire engine red hair. And my favorite right here, Omi Boye, she has a round belly. And I made her chocolate on purpose. I made her chocolate on purpose, and I made her round on purpose. Why did I? Which website is it? Okay.
I'm sharing the website. No worries.
I did that on purpose. Let me share some, y'all. I had this amazing, please pray for me. I had this amazing interview with a boutique in DC on Wednesday. And I think I shared with Mama Ro, we're rolling out a limited supply to begin with of mermaids. And they're soft plush toys. And the manager asked me, he said, oh yeah, so we have 300 on their way to our home. So as soon as they get here, I'm like, y'all going right back out into the world, right? And so then we have one prototype, her name, the Omi Boye one, the round one. I did a rounder one. And the Baba asked me, he said, well, how come you didn't do the lead characters? How come I did a secondary character as the second main doll to come out? I said, because our dark-skinned mamas and our dark-skinned sisters have been waiting a long time, and they don't get to wait any longer. And our plus size and full body sisters, they've been waiting a long time to see themselves represented out here in the world. And so they get to see themselves in the world, so they don't get to wait any longer. He had nothing to say.
Well, of course.
He had nothing to say. But it made sense, right?
Right on.
Oh, thank you, Aja. Thank you so much. It will go out tomorrow.
Right.
So yes, so we're launching a toy line, and it's called Weird Wonders, and it's launching in October. And so the mermaids are the first products coming out, but we have a whole lot of creative works for our people. And Weird Wonders, the mission of Weird Wonder, the statement of Weird Wonders is where hold on one second, is where innocence and imagination thrives. And just a little while ago, when you, Mama Ro, when you were talking at the beginning, our young women out here seeing themselves, innocence is how we keep our imagination.
Mm-hmm.
When I see our white brothers and sisters with their kids, they're like, you can be anything, you can do anything. Even sometimes when the imagination is a little twisted, they be like, that's okay. Go ahead and scribble it down on that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they take them right on to therapy with the scribble. You
Right.
know?
Right.
Yeah.
Like
And-
Montessori schools.
What'd you say?
Like Montessori. I
Yes.
have Montessori's there. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And I feel like our children get to keep and capture and nurture their innocence. You know what I'm saying? Whatever that looks like for them. My daughter likes to make paper people every day. She makes whole little cities of them every day. But they also get to connect to the fact that, hey, what's the lady's name with Harry Potter? She wrote a book series about all kinds of things, healing and witches and warlocks and sorcerers, and they had Grendels and they had all kind of, you understand what I'm saying? People turned out in droves, had costumes and all types of things, going to go see this movie. That book was flying off the shelf. That's why haven't our people wrote that? Well, they have. They're trying to, but our kids get to see that and they get to know that. They think of, they dream about, my son talks to me all the time about dragons and the fourth and fifth dimension and multiverses and all kinds of carrying on. I know he's not the only one.
Mm-hmm.
And they get to know that just like everybody, people are still crying over Baba Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah, I was just thinking about him, the Black Panther. I was just thinking about him when you were talking.
And what Stan Lee did was amazing as a white body person. And you know what's crazy? I'm going to say that I had just done a live 6 hours before Chadwick Boseman had passed. And I was speaking about the Black Panther, not knowing he was going to pass. And I was saying, our people get to have our own thing. It was supported. Wakanda was supported. People went out in droves. We were happy to see ourselves. And there were characters and people who were able to do it, right? But it was still under the platform of whiteness. There's nothing wrong with it, but we get to do the same things or even greater. Does that make sense? Yes, I do believe the brother was meant to play T'Challa. I do believe that everything works in integration. I do believe that, but our people also get to have what we have come here to have as well. And not get all excited when we are represented from the mind of a white bodied person's imagination. We have beyond imagination, and we get to work together in order for our businesses to flourish, in order for us to be center stage as well. Amazing. We're an amazing, prolific, rich, wealthy people.
Right on, right on.
Sorry
when you were no, sis. Everything you said was right on, spot on. I think the other beauty of Black Panther is shows what Black people do so well anyway. So even though it was a white person's idea, in that story, a Black person had wrote all over that. Because white people can't come up with the story the way it laid out. I have never seen something where you related sometimes more to the villain. The villain felt weak. It didn't feel like a villain that was out there. And it was kind of like, but it came from a place where if you had a certain experience, you could relate to that. Well, why they over there and we over here suffering? Why? There were things in that movie that I'm not going to give credit to white people.
Absolutely.
And I agree with you, but I'm just saying, like, it was things that I was like, because I seen it a lot of times at Sierra Health Foundation, brought out a theater. It was full of Black people. I supported some kids in South Africa to go watch it because they couldn't afford it. So I got some money from here. There was
Right.
something universal for our experience that even though white people was something from their little line, because we do this all the time, we get on there and we make it ours. It's
Yes.
like, real Stanley, thank you. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
That's like the
Yes.
first time I seen Naomi Campbell when I was a teenager, and she was in the Freedom video by George.
Yes, yes, yes.
And you
yes.
had all these white girls, but Naomi Campbell stepped in there, was like,
Yes.
these, because they're not even in the same category with her. That's how bad we are. That's all I'm saying. So, but I think
you're right.
So we see the mermaid. It's like, now's the time. I think it's always the time, but now is really the time. Like, little black girls gonna be wanting to be mermaids. They're gonna see that, you know, the whatever line you put out, we're gonna be all over it. Because one thing I do know, there are a lot of black people, far more than we know, who love to get things in their child's image. When I was growing up, we had to get Christy Love doll. Did y'all have that?
Yes.
I had to get Christy Love doll, and I had the head thing where you could do her hair. I had both of them. But it was something about seeing Christy Love for me as a black girl. It made me feel some kind of way when I was like, wow, she's bad. She's
Yes.
So I just feel like it's all in divine order, because even when people, you know how white people try to act like they create us, dude, we could be a maid in something and be the queen at the same time. Don't get it twisted.
Absolutely.
So you're right. You're right on, sis.
I appreciate
right
that.
on.
And I also, because I'm somebody who really does come from a space of loving everyone, but this is the body I was born into, this life. And so my it's like calling is for our people.
Right on.
And deeply, I believe all people are our people, because everybody came from Africa.
Right on.
Like, for real. But everybody doesn't understand that and connect to that. You know what I'm saying? So out of their own ignorance or fear, especially some of our white brothers and sisters, even some of our own people.
Yeah, that's real.
You know?
And
so...
No, go ahead, sis. I'm sorry.
I'm listening. Go ahead. I'm listening.
No. Go ahead, sis.
So I think that it's so important for the narrative to change. When I did research on mermaids out here, there really aren't any black mermaids out here. When plush dolls, no. When I did research on black toy companies, not really out here. So then it gives this kind of thing that we don't. We play with toys. Our children play with toys. Grown people play with toys. Grown people like to have fun and dress up. I mean, grown people were dressing up and going to see again. Nobody had ever seen anything like that before the Black Panther. Nobody had ever seen our people. You had, religious Christians going to go see, you know what I mean? And they talk about Bast. They talk about Kemetic and Egyptian kind of philosophies thrown in there with deities. They're not talking about Christ.
That's real talk.
In Wakanda. That's not what they were talking about.
That's real talk.
And so people came, and our people came together under that. And it was, I pray it is seen again, not with that particular movie, but it's going to be seen again. The more we reconnect to who we really are. Well, real quick, I also want to share that it's so important for people to understand that they do their ancestral inheritance, their divine inheritance, their birthright. And when we tap into our birthright and our divine, you never broke if you have it. There's an abundance in the wealth that our people have.
Oh, that's right.
You know what I'm saying? That is beyond, like, ancestrally digging into that, just tapping into that. Because our ancestors are there by the grace of God wanting to give that to us.
Right on.
So yeah,
I agree with everything you said, sis. Everything you said was like spot on. I think the one thing that I want more than anything, I mean, I'm always working on it, because in America, this happens to you when you have to do a disclaimer when you love yourself. And when I was with that white man for 15 years, I began to understand that that's a part of the brainwash when you have to give disclaimers, because that's what America does to you. I used to watch them do something like, you don't have to explain. No, we're not explaining for it. And I don't think that's arrogance. I think that's their way of being in the world. Like, I just think they don't, because all the white people didn't get the same script. But what they did get is this ability to just be who they want to be. If they want to be a lamp pole, they'll stand out there, and one of us will come under the lamp and be like, "Your lamp pole today." We'll make them the lamp pole because that's what they want it to be. So I just feel like on our way to all of this wonderfulness, I think we have to, like, the way you get free is that you just don't have to always explain yourself. Because I feel like sometimes we get so caught up in explaining ourselves, somebody comes along and just make you, you keep being distracted by it. And I do that myself. Sometimes I do a disclaimer because I be thinking, well, I don't want people to feel. So look, if that's your truth, that's why I love straight shooters. When people tell you something, it's like, thank you. No, you ain't got to explain that. You ain't got to explain. Thank you. I should say thank you because I don't want to waste.
I do say thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. When you said it, I used to hear elders say stuff like, people will tell you who they are if you just listen.
Yeah.
I mean, just listen, like, but we'll be hearing something like, well, what it is this. No, what it is this their truth. I can't even get mad at it. But the disclaimer, I only watch it sometimes do a lot of disclaimers with other people, honestly. I work in a lot of different communities. They unapologetically go for their people. They don't be doing no disclaimer like, black people, you too. They don't do that. They be like, we're doing a Latino, and then it'll be like, well, wait a minute, y'all got black people inside of Latin America because we have more black people in Latin America than we have here in the U.S. But they ain't even included in the equation. Nobody goes out the way to say, well, and them too. Like, no, we're talking about over here. And I'd be like, yeah, but you're over here with the rest of us because when we do our stuff, we always fit everybody.
Right.
Notice I went like this. Like, we even turning sometimes away from ourselves to make sure other people are included. And that to me is part of the damage I feel that we do, because it's like, I feel like when you said the top, if you just do you'll basically be okay. I think it's hard for some of us to do it because we live in a country where doing people got a problem with that. I just like this every day.
The Move family was doing the Move. Remember the Move family? The Move family was doing themselves and got bombed. So,
Right. That's what I'm saying. So you have to be like, well, what this is? And now composting is a big thing because they had a compost in the yard. Now everybody's doing composting. You know what I'm saying? So, Sister Ditto, I'm so right there with you. Look, I think your book, I can't wait to get my copy. I still want to pre-order my mermaids. I just feel like we need all of that. We need imagery like we need air. And when I say imagery, like to reflect themselves, I brought up the Montessori school because I went through a training. And when I seen some of the stuff they did with them kids, I was in shock. Like, can you imagine little Ray Ray just doing watercolors and don't care what it looked like? Can you imagine being able to dance and not be on beat and everybody okay with that? Like, we have little jokes that we make inside of our culture, but some of those things are really damaging because all of us are not rhythmically inclined. Like, some of us don't want to have our sweater match our socks. Like, some of us ain't dressing like that. I grew up in that era where I was kind of like a weird kid. So it's like, I didn't like ironing clothes and stuff.
I still don't iron clothes.
At least 3 times a week, maybe not back to back, but it's just something about that freedom.
Yes.
Explore. And even if you don't succeed, you still had the right to explore and not be made to feel like, well, we don't do that. No, we do that. We do ski. We do, I don't know, we're blue eyeliner. I mean, I remember the joke about the blue eyeliner. I was like, what's wrong with blue eyeliner?
Yeah.
So
it still shows up.
Groundbreaking. Like, I'm gonna figure out how we gonna get a couple of your books because now I gotta go talk to Miss Jackie and a few other people who basically work with young people and young children, and for them to be able to have a book like that and they can reflect themselves. And I think that's the beautiful part of it. And I remember because I'm a 70s baby. I remember in the 70s having Black things introduced to us because that was in the time of Black folks was discovering that they was African and all that kind of stuff. But there was this whole thing, a rush of imagery. And then that kind of went away with the crack era. But, it started dwindling. So to have that reintroduced to us probably for the umpteenth time, you know, I think that's what helps us to raise the vibration so that people can want to, you know, want to be connected to their ancestors, want to be proud to be whatever skin they're in.
Yes.
Like, you know, I could have purple hair and very beautifully melanated dark, you know what I mean? And not be made to feel some kind of way because I have blue hair.
Absolutely.
So sis, I'm so excited for your book. I'm so excited.
Thank you guys. I want to just say that I really enjoyed this conversation. I sent you guys messages in our private comments. I would love to carry your book in my bookstore and also feature it in the literacy programs.
Oh, wow.
But I gotta go, and I gotta go open up my bookstore. I love you guys, bro. I will be talking to you soon. Family, thanks for always tuning in. Okay, I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace and love.
All right, peace. And with that, family, we are going to wrap up. Thank you, sister, for joining me. So hold on, just a minute, I'm gonna wrap us up. Family, as you know, it's been real. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sister Ananda Free, for sharing all of your wonderful works, your books, the whole nine. And family, we shall return next week. Peace and blessings.
Peace.
Uh-oh.